was really.
I forgot to put this up.
Oh, you forgot to record?
I did.
All
It's
good.
fine. It's fine.
All good.
Not a problem at all.
I'm sure you remember what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
But,
We good.
Yeah, I hit absolutely horribly. Well, my description of horribly is probably the description of another player's like decent, which says a lot. But it was bad.
Speak to that some more though. Like you said, your description of horrible is another player's decent. So, what does horrible mean? Go into detail about what horrible even means.
Horrible to me means that I'm just not hitting greens at all. I mean, I get it. I get it if I'm missing them by only a little bit, and it's just a pull or just a right push, but I'm hitting the ball well. You know, I'm fine with that. If it's just a right push, I'm just pushing it right, and then I'm pushing it left, pulling it left, but I'm still hitting it really well. I have no problems with it as long as it's pin high near green. I have no problems with it. But when it's just when I'm just chunking it and when I'm just shanking it, then I know there's a problem. Then there's something going on with my swing that there's a problem. Driver was great. I was hitting it on a rope off the tee. Driver to 3-wood was hitting off a rope. That's the only thing that kept me alive all day, pretty much, honestly. The only great iron shot was on the first hole, and it was the only drive I hit bad. Only drive I hit bad off the tee. And the thing was, I didn't get any practice shots. I don't think any. That's the thing too, is that it affects my system because we don't get any range time on, and that's why I do worse. That's why I do worse when we have high school matches and certain things like that, because we never have any range time. Because they want us to get out there so quickly so that we can play, you know?
They rush y'all.
Yeah, we're like, hey, they're like, hey, we want you to get out. We want you to get out there as fast as possible so that y'all can go play. And it's like, a lot of the time though, my system's kicking in. That's why you need it.
Anytime you need to get water, you get water. It's fine.
No, it's all good. A lot of the time though, when we like, it affects me, not really more as mentally, but it's just part of my routine.
Okay.
Before every round, I would say almost before every round, I go to the range. First thing I do, go to the range, hit a couple golf balls, you know. Warm up, right? And then after that, you know, go putt, chip, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm here, you know, it gives me time to like mentally be there, you know, mentally feel like I'm ready to go. And that's why I get pissed when I'm late to it. That's why I get so pissed at my dad, or when I get pissed, that's why I get so pissed or angry at my dad or my mom or whoever's taking me, because they don't realize the importance of me getting there early. That they're like, oh, you know, first tee, you're going to have to, you know, run out straight out of the car. I'm like, I hate that.
You feel rushed because you warm up.
I hate that. It affects my routine. Yet some of the times I'll play some of my best rounds. You know, I remember I played over at Stone Mountain, very first summer tournament out of the gates, and second hole through 2, I was 1 under. Yeah, and I was texting my dad. I was like, dude, through 2, I'm 1 under right now. I'm cooking. I ended up shooting an 84 that day. I mean, I was fine with it. There were a couple holes that I blew up on, but other than that, and that's what I gotta avoid too, is those blow-ups. I'm trying to get better with those this year.
Yeah, blowing up in regard to you just losing it?
No, blowing up in regard of, so when golfers have blow-ups, usually they make like a triple or double on a hole. You know, that's what they mean by blow-ups, you know? Yeah. Prime example, you know, baseball, when you just go 0-4, you know, so that's
because you had a terrible at bat first, and then you just let that fester on to your other at bats and everything.
Exactly. That's just a blow up all day.
Yeah,
you know?
But blow ups, I would think, I think that's more refocused though. What do you think? You think that's if you don't hit the shot you wanted to hit this specific time, is maybe, I want to say cure, but a way to maybe amend that or fix that, is it refocus, you think?
Some of the time. Sometimes it can just be refocus. Other times it can just be a specific shot.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like literally, like some of the times for me, it can just be tiny wedge shots.
Mhm.
That is the biggest struggle for me is wedge shots.
Wedge shots.
Because I'm a big dude, you
Mhm.
know, and if I take the club back too far,
Mhm.
it's over the green.
Of course.
You know, and it's like I have to have a club or something in my hand that I feel confident with, that I know that when I take it back when I take it back enough,
Mhm.
it's going to be on that green every time. I've got a 5 to 10 footer for birdie every single time. That's what I want all day.
Mhm.
Me being a 6.5, 7 handicap, which means that I normally shoot, if par were 72,
Mhm.
I would shoot 7 strokes over that, which is 79. 79, you're 80.
Yeah.
You're 80,
Mhm.
which is pretty good, you know. I mean, me being a junior now, you know, I would want to shoot around there. You know, if I was a junior and I'm shooting 86, 87, then there's area for concern. But those are around my worst days. My worst days, my really, really bad days, I'm going to shoot in the 90s.
Mhm. Okay.
And those used to be, when I was 12, 13, those were like not bad near good days,
Mhm.
you know. But like now those are
That's
just
a bit different.
terrible days.
Because you got
Yeah.
better. No.
Right, I got a lot better.
Mhm.
And now my terrible days are like 44, 45s.
Mhm.
And those used to be freshman year, those used to be like decent days.
Mhm.
But now those are absolute horrid days.
Yeah.
Like I'm just striking the ball horribly,
Mhm.
you know.
That just means you got better. You
Yeah, I
expect
know.
more of yourself.
And that's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, like my goal yesterday was not yesterday. I keep saying yesterday,
Mhm.
but my goal a couple
Thursday.
days ago,
Yeah.
Wednesday
Wednesday.
when we played. My goal Wednesday was about 39,
Mhm.
38, 39. I wasn't anywhere near that. I didn't even know what I shot. Honestly, I just let it go.
Mhm.
Like I was just like, dude, I was mentally so. I'll take you through my round here in a sec. But no, that affected me for sure. That affected me. And and then I was looking. So before we left that day, over at school, I was looking for my name over on the honor roll because they had honor roll posted and everything.
Mhm.
I couldn't find my name, even though I've got a 3.8, 3.9. 3.8, I got a 3.8 unweighted, weighted is 3.9.
Mhm.
And so I'm looking for my name on the honor roll, and I'm like,
Where's it at?
where the hell is it? And it takes me about 15, 20 minutes, and there's this annoying freshman kid. Everyone hates him. Everyone.
Just random student or a golf player?
No, just
random student.
He comes up and he's like, your name ain't on there, bro. And I'm like, I was about to be. Oh no, I was done with him. He sounds like he chain smokes. Like
As a freshman?
yes, like this, but like he's got a really low, raspy
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
He's like, your name's not on there, bro. And I'm like, I was like, bro, what are you talking about? You know? I was like, no, you see, your name ain't on there, bud. I'm like, bro, just move over. It's like he's all up in my space. I'm like, bro, move out of the way. And like me being me, I'm a nice guy to everybody. You know, like I'm like, you know, I'm big, but I'm like, what do they say? What's the expression that they say? I'm big, but I'm like, I forgot what they say the expression is, but I'm big, but I don't pack a punch, you know.
Okay,
So,
yeah, okay.
yeah. But at the same time, you know, he was annoying the heck out of me. And then next thing you know, he says, you know, this kid on the golf team thinks you're like the worst golfer. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, I don't care. You know.
Did you let that affect you though? Like not the golf thing, but him as a whole, like the guy as a whole, whether he was talking about the honor roll or he was just him, his personality.
Just him talking about
yeah,
golf.
Him
talking about golf and saying that even though he doesn't play. And I was like,
so that's
I
what
looked over at him and I was like, yeah. And I was like, don't let that affect you. Don't let that affect you. Don't let it. Next thing you know, I'm like, ah.
Well, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
I mean, it didn't, and I felt like it didn't really matter, to be honest with you. I just went to the course, and I started playing. First hole,
This is Wednesday.
right?
Mhm.
First hole, I didn't hit my driver that good. It was over into the right, but I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, I'll find it, playable, and I find it, and it's right near behind a tree, and I'm like, this is gonna be a hard shot. I'm like, this is going to be a really, 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 really hard shot. And I'm like, okay. And so get my club out, get the club that I know I'm gonna hit, and get it onto the green. And I hit it. It gets right through the trees. It's absolutely perfect. And then I walk up to the green, and I've got about a 10-footer for birdie. I'm like, dude. I'm like, this is like, I swear, like, let's do it. You know, like, I'm like, dude, if this is how today's gonna start, I really want to play good. You know. And I wasn't expecting anything. You know, I remember I've been watching some Instagram videos recently and stuff, and there's this guy that was like, when you're not hitting on the range, don't really expect anything of yourself, you know? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do exactly that. I'm not gonna expect anything of myself all day. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna have neutral thinking all day. And I missed the putt. But I wasn't too concerned about it. And then I just went over, tapped it in, it was good, you know, and I made par. And I was just playing against my coach, and I play against him all the time. And I'm just like, I was comfortable.
You said you beat him one day. I remember you said you beat him one day.
Oh, yeah, I beat him quite a couple times.
Okay.
I mean, he's not better than me. It's just the fact that he's better than me. It's not that he's better than me. It's the fact that I destroy myself. That's the only reason I lose to him. It's because I destroy myself.
Why do you do that?
I don't know.
What does that even look like, though, destroying yourself?
I'm getting into that.
Okay.
I'm getting into that.
Okay.
Second hole, I hit it far and off to the right. It's par 3. I'm fine. I know where it is. I can chip up, make par, or even up and down bogey. And I'm like, okay, long par 3. I just want to get up and down. Honestly, I don't ask anything more for a bogey. Bogey is fine to me. First chip, I leave it short. Second chip, right by the hole, tap in, make bogey. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. We're doing just fine. Third hole comes along. Perfect drive. Down the middle. I told you, driver was good all day.
Driver was good.
Perfect ass drive. Second shot, chunk my 7-iron. And I was really upset about it because I remember on the 7-iron, 7-iron the other day, I was hitting it really good on the range. But it was off the stupid mats.
Okay.
And I just absolutely chunked the 7-iron. I'm like, I never do that. And then I'm like, okay. And during my thought process during this, I was just like, I remember my coach telling me that I want to at least take 2 to 3 seconds. And then, like, I just got behind the ball. And then I just go, I look at the target, look at the ball, and I'm like, 1, 2, and then I just swing. And then I just chunked it, you know? Like, but at the same time, I'm trying to change up the pace at which I hit, you know? I'm not trying to, like, what I used to do last year is that I would just, like, I would walk up to it, and then I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7, 8, and then I just, like, keep the club there like a nervous, like, I'd like bob the club up and down like a nervous little like twitch, and then I'd just like get my hands all tense and everything, you know.
So now you're trying to go a little bit
I'm trying to go faster. I'm trying to go faster, you know, and I feel like that too is a big adjustment for my mind, you know. And I feel like I need to practice more of that on the range today that I didn't do, you know. And because like on the range, I don't really do that, you know. And I'm like, okay, we got to practice what I'm trying to practice on the course.
Deliberate practice.
Right. I'm like, I didn't know that's part of my deliberate practice, but let's make that part of our deliberate practice now. You know, so I hit that shot terrible.
I love how you're quicker with the adjustments now. You know the answers to what you
right. I hit that shot terrible, and I was like, damn. And I was upset, but I was like, okay, up and down again, you know. So I just chip up. I didn't get it up to the second shelf, so I was upset. I was upset about that because I didn't get it up to the front part of the green. The green is a 2-tiered shelf. The first shelf, and then there's the second shelf where you have to ride the golf ball up the shelf.
Okay.
And it got on the shelf and then it went down. Yeah, I was like, I was upset about it. And then I had a long putt up the hill, and I didn't give it enough juice, and that was my par putt, and then I made my bogey putt. Thank God I made that bogey putt. I made that bogey putt, so that was good. And then par 4. This is where I lost it.
Okay.
This is where the day turned to hell.
Mm-hmm.
It turned to hell. And I kind of just let it go on my own. And I haven't done that in a long time where I just let it go on my own, but I did. What happened though, hit my 3-wood on the tee because I know my driver goes too far. Hit my 3-wood on a rope. Probably the best 3-wood I've hit off the tee in a long time. Just stroked it. Perfect down the middle. And everybody hit a great tee. Everybody on that tee, everybody hit a great tee shot. I wasn't even thinking about the match all day. I'm going to be honest with my coach. I wasn't even thinking about it. So that wasn't even an element of pressure. It was more so myself. I was thinking about myself and what I was going to shoot that day.
Okay.
So at this point, I'm in my head thinking about my score, and I'm like, why am I thinking about my score?
Let's go back to the outcome.
And I felt like, I was like, that's a mistake. And I knew it was a mistake in my head, but I was thinking about it. And I was like, I'm playing well. I'm like 2-3 over. I mean, I'm playing decent. I'm like 2-3 over right now. Let's say I got a nice looking shot up here. Let's get it close. Let's make a birdie. I'm licking my chops. And I'm like, dude, hey, I just absolutely stroked that 3-wood. We got a close up. And I'm like, but then at the same time, I'm like, what if you chunk it or thin it or skull it?
Did you give power to that?
Yeah,
by your thought?
Yeah, I did. Next thing you know, I'm walking up to it, and I'm getting all nervous. I'm like, maybe I should step off of it. I'm like, no, we're just, no. We're gonna walk up and we're gonna hit it. And so I take my practice stroke. I'm like, okay, we're feeling it, I'm feeling good, And I'm coming up, coming down, pew. I'm like, and it just, pew, skull. Just great, just pure skull. Just absolutely skulled it. And I was hot. I was like, I lost it there for a second. That wasn't even the part where I really lost it. I was like, my mind was screaming at me.
Was that where you first started to lose it though?
Yeah.
Like
that was where I first started.
That's the onset?
That was where I first started to lose it.
Yeah.
And then coming up on my third shot, I have a shot over a bunker, and then the green is there, and then the other bunker's on the other side. And so I'm like, let's just chip it up on the green, let's just get out, make a bogey. At this point, I'm just like, dude, but then at the same time, I'm like, we can still make par, I know we can still make par. And then I hit the shot pure, but I hit it over, and I hit it over the green. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh God. Now it's either a chip in or we just hit it close. Ugh. And this is my par shot. I chunked my wedge, just chunk.
That's the second time.
Yeah, so I deliberately just like looking at the pin, and then I'm like, okay, take a little practice stroke. Chunk. Lost it. I lost it. Absolutely.
Throwing clubs down.
Oh yeah, I just absolutely beat my club into the ground. Lost it. And my coach was over there grinning because he's thinking, dude, I got into his head. I'm like, no, you didn't. I got into my own head. I got into my own head. It's more of this year. This year, it's me getting into my own head, not you. You know? And I absolutely just slammed that club because I was so
You were irate.
so pissed. And I haven't felt that feeling in a long time. And then I was just rushed over with feel. Like I was just like and then I just walked up. Next thing you know, I just grabbed the putter and I just putt it. And then I'm done. And then I just destroy it past. And I'm like, I'm done. I pick up the golf ball and then I throw it. I'm like, piece of shit. And then I just walk off. I'm done. And I just put my clubs away. I put my club in the bag, and then I just walk off to the next tee. And my coach was like, control. I'm like, that, you know. And then I calm myself down for a second. I'm like, let's bounce back, you know. Immediately after what I did, I was just like, bounce back, you know. I'm like, 90% of the time after I have a hole like that, we bounce back with a birdie or par. Let's do that. Drive is perfect. Down the middle. Second shot, absolutely horrid. Way right. 3-wood off the deck goes horrible. Way right. Bad contact. Third shot. I skull my iron again. I skull it again into the trees, and then it goes down, and then I have my fourth shot, and I'm turning this par 5 into an absolute disaster after like a 270-yard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute disaster. And my mind is done. Like, I'm mentally checked. Like, my fourth shot, I wasn't mentally checked after my fourth, though. My fourth shot, I was like, dude, let's hit it close. You know, let's hit it close to this green. Let's make par. That's all I'm thinking about at this point. Let's make par. I didn't really even, like, I walked up for a second to go see where the pin was, and I just went through my routine like I normally would, and then take a practice shot, and I'm like, okay, let's hit a close one. It's nice and fluffed up, and I was confident. Pew! I hit it. I hit the shot pure, but it's over. It's like the worst shot possible. And then I have a long ass putt coming back for par. Of course, I didn't make that. You know, like I hit a decent putt. I mean, I left it short, but I'm not making that. And then, that's what pissed me off. I was on the fringe, and there was a grain of grass behind my ball, and I just absolutely it hit the ball, and then it just immediately left it short, and I hit my putt short, and then after that I was just done. I was mentally, my mind was elsewhere.
Did the grain of grass, did that affect the ball, or did you hit the grain of grass and that's what made you hit the ball the wrong way?
Well, it affected how much I took back on my stroke too, you know. And so some jackass didn't care to fix their divot apparently, and so voila, you know. So that was rough.
Let's go back to when you first lost it though. When you started beating the club into the ground and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What did your mind go to when you started doing that? Because that was the action, but your action was based off of the emotion, but then your emotion is based off what was going on in your mind at that time, the thought that you were having. What was the thought?
My mind was spiraling. I felt like that's what I felt like was going on. My mind was pissed because I had a shot from about 80 out. I had a shot from about 80 yards out. And I was like, you had a shot from 80 yards out that you could have an easy birdie on, and you make a fucking triple? And I just couldn't accept that, because those shots I should have in the bag. Like I should have at where I am as a golfer right now, I should have those shots in the bag every single time. But no, no,
But you couldn't accept that.
no, because I was too pissed off. I
Were
couldn't
you
accept.
pissed off because you couldn't accept it?
I was pissed off because I couldn't accept it, and I was pissed off because
How would you feel if you did accept it?
I can't.
How would you feel if you did accept it?
I can't.
Is that what happened?
I don't know how I would feel if I did accept it. I don't.
Is that what happened?
That I didn't accept it.
No, that you hit that kind of shot that you didn't want to hit. Did you get a result that you didn't want to get?
Yeah, I got a result that I didn't want to get.
So that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
You didn't accept it, and then how was your emotions because you didn't accept it?
Pissed the heck off.
What if you did accept it? How would your emotions be then?
But then that'd just be retarded.
If you did accept it, how would your emotions be then?
I'd somehow be stable and I'd be okay with it.
And then what would happen?
Next hole would have probably been a lot better and I would have gone through my thoughts a lot better. Probably.
Matthew, when we don't accept things, we tend to fight them. When we tend to fight them, we don't get the result because we're still trying to fight. So our future is fight, 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 fight.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking on the very next hole because I was like, I gotta fight back now. I gotta bounce back.
Which is not wrong. But sometimes our fight can look like, now we're tight.
That's what I was, yeah.
Which means other things happen that we don't want to actually happen.
And I didn't really feel tight though. It was more of like, for some reason I was feeling nerves. I don't know why. And usually, and like I was comfortable with the group I was playing with.
Mhm.
I was really comfortable with the group. I was playing with coach and then a friend of mine and then just myself. And I'm usually really comfortable with that group. Like I was really comfortable. And for some reason the only group I feel uncomfortable with is one of my friends because he knows how to get in my head as well.
That's what I'm
He's
talking
some,
about.
you know, like, and I feel uncomfortable with that, and that's why. And I usually try to avoid him and play, and I usually try to avoid playing with him.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a bad thing at the same time because I feel like at some point I'll get paired with him, and then I can't avoid it.
Would you want to, if in a perfect world, would you want for him not to get in your head?
Of course. I don't want anyone to get in my head. I serve no one. I serve no one except for myself and God.
Mm-hmm.
I serve no one.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Absolutely no one.
Very true.
But yet it looks like I do when I let those people get in my head. Because when it comes to me, I was talking with my dad after the round and I was livid.
Mm-hmm.
I was livid. I would love for you to talk to him about it afterward because he knows more of my thoughts than I probably do about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was livid.
Hot.
Oh, I was livid. I was like, I was livid because he was like, how was the round? And I was like, terrible. And I just closed the trunk, went on in. And I was like, I practice more than almost any of those guys out there, and I still suck. I was like, I practice more than any of those guys out there, and I still suck. And I'm still worse than them. And I'm like, Dad, why do I even do this? Like, why? Like, God didn't even like make me for this. Why did I choose to do this?
Is
Like,
the performance the reason why you believe that you were worse than them?
yeah. I feel like it was solely the performance. I genuinely feel like it was solely the performance. Yeah. I feel like it was the performance.
Okay.
But it's also just but it's also, I feel like it's the performance in general and just like how like, where's I going with most of this? Yeah, I feel like it's the performance in general, in just how, not just how I play, but like,
how you felt, stuff.
yeah, but it's also just how like how I appear to my team in a sense, because I feel like they all know that I can't, like, for some reason, I can't deal with pressure. And I was pissed about that too. I was like, Dad, I can't deal with pressure. For some reason, I just can't deal with pressure. And he was like, but you can. But I'm like, I can't. Like, I can't, for some reason, I cannot for some reason deal with pressure at all. And they know it. I was like, that's why they tease me. That's why they bully me, because they know that I cannot deal with pressure. They know it. And whenever I try to deal with pressure, whenever I try to tell myself that I can deal with pressure, I can't. For some reason, I can't. I don't know why. I try and I try and I try, and it never works. And it makes me feel like I'm terrible at this sport. It makes me feel like I'm not good enough. It makes me feel like when a college is going to come look at me, they're going to say, he's shit. He's not good enough. He's not going to make it anywhere. He's a late bloomer, but he sucks. And it's like, damn. It's like, am I really this bad? And it's like, I know that there's a better version of me out there, but it's not coming. It's just not there. And it's like, dude, it's like, it wasn't as bad as last year, me wanting to hang up the clubs for a while. It really wasn't. But like, sure it's me accepting defeat is really hard. It is. Accepting defeat is the hardest thing that I could probably ever bring myself to. For sure. And it's like, when Coach came up to me on the very last hole, he came back and beat me. I didn't care. I didn't really care, but at the same time, there was a stinging. There was just this sting of just like, dude, you actually suck. Like, you are actually not made for this sport. And then I started talking about how I lost. Although I didn't really even care about it. Then for some reason, I started caring about it. I was like, dude, you were 2 up. You were 2 up through 2 holes. And then you let them come back and beat you and win. And you let him come back into the match, beat you. And I'm like, he's not even as good as you. He's only been playing for a couple years, and yet you've been playing for pretty much your whole life, and you still suck. And it's like, bro, hang up the clubs. You're done. You suck. You're not going to make it. And it's just like, dude, I've been facing this almost my entire life. And it's like, why don't I have as much talent as them? They're not as good, but yet they're so talented. That's why I get so jealous of people. That's why I get so... There's this one kid. There's this one younger kid. Super good. Super good. And he's made it to like worlds. He's one of the best top ranked golfers in the world, whatever, all his accolades. I don't really care at this point. But yet every single time that I see him on Instagram, I grow jealous. I grow so jealous of this kid because I'm like, dude, why can that not be me? Why am I not him? Why am I not as good as him? Why am I not that guy? I've been seeking for a life of significance, of absolute just domination. And yet I am the farthest person away from that. And it's just like, damn, dude, like, it's just like, I can't do it. I can't put myself on that level. I can get close. I can get top 10s. I can be in the mix. I can be talked about by my team. I can be talked about by other players, but I will never be that good. I will never be that guy. And it's just like, bro, I don't know what to do. It's like, I've got a year left. I got a year left or so. And I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm not going to do it. I just feel like I should just pick my major now, just go to a college and just live my life from there, just cause. But yet I will never be able to face the fact alone that I wasn't able to live out my dream. And for some reason, I don't think I'll ever be able to face that. I mean, am I really going to like the feeling of having to tell my kids that I absolutely love golf in high school, but yet they're going to ask, Daddy, why weren't you able to go to college for it? I was like, oh, because I sucked. because I wasn't able to. Your dad was never able to face his dream because he was a word that I don't want to say because it's a derogatory term towards females, but especially on recording. But it's just, dude, it's like, Dad, why weren't you able to make it? And I'm like, oh, because your dad absolutely sucked. Because your dad could not make it. Because he was not big time like other people. He was not big time. He could not get it straight in here because he sucked. He absolutely sucked. And it's just like, dude, I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like I'm getting better here. But then at the same time, when it all goes to shit, it all just like, it's like, why am I doing this when it's not working? And then my dad is like, you're doing this because you're going to get better. It's going to get better. I'm like, Dad, it's not going to get better. For some reason, I feel like it's not going to get better. It's not going to work. And it's like, dude, am I really just going to have to pack it up now and just say that it's all over and just say that, eventually when I have kids, your dad couldn't make it because he wasn't good enough? Because he, for some reason, didn't have the mental game just to make it? That's the only thing that was holding him back was his fucking brain? Is that really going to be the reason? Is that really going to be the killer to my game? And it's like, I know I can play great. Of course, I've seen it myself. I know that I can do what I do. I've seen it in tournaments. I've seen it myself. A couple friends of mine have seen it. But yet, I still suck. I don't know why I can't do it. I'm not trying to yell at you. I'm trying to yell because I am pissed the off. Because I've seen it for years and years and years and years and years. Why am I not good? Why am I not up there? I want to be up there so bad, but I'm not. I'm not. And I don't feel like I'm a winner because of it. I feel like I'm an absolute bum who's just there just to be there. And it's like, in the back of my brain, I'm just like, dude, if you don't get it going, you're not going to make it anywhere. You're not going to make it anywhere at all. And sure, I might have the GPA for it. And sure, I may have the scores for it. And whatever. But if I don't have the game, then what does it matter? It's like, what does it matter at this point? It's just like, I feel like not only is it the pressure of the weight of what is going on right now, and that I'm an upperclassman now, and that I have only so much time left to actually prove myself. It's just the fact that college is looming. College is here to stay. It's coming after me. Recruitment is here to stay. It's coming. I've been trying to talk with coaches. It's either I get an email back or I don't. It's one of the two. And I've gotten some offers, I've gotten a couple offers and I've gotten a couple people to talk about it, But it's like, what if that scout comes and he just thinks that and he sees a terrible day and it's just like, dude, you absolutely suck. Like, you're not going to make it, It's just like, I don't know what to do with my life if I can't make it in golf. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I've been dedicated to this for so many years, and yet kids that have not busted their ass, that have not practiced every single day, are still better than me. And I practice almost every single day. I go to that course almost every single day. You can ask almost every single player on that team who practices the most. Oh, Matthew Crick. Matthew Crick busts his ass every single day, every weekend, goes to the course, rain or shine, but yet he still cannot shoot the scores that I do. Or that, I don't know, maybe Andy does. Who knows? Because he gets in his own way. Because he sucks.
So first of all, thank you for that. I'm glad you were able to get that out. My question for you is, because everything you're saying right now is valid, and it's actual emotion that you feel, so I'm super glad you were able to say that, for sure. I want you to let that out. I really do. My question is, the reason why you feel this way, is it because of how much pressure you feel on golf? And if so, is it really pressure or is it things that you're saying in your head? Because golf stays the same, regardless of if you're playing for a state championship or you're just playing with friends. Golf is golf. The rules don't change. What we allow to infiltrate the game of golf is what makes golf change to us in our heads. Right? Pressure is something that we create on ourselves. The game doesn't change. What we believe outside of the game, we let that infiltrate the game, and then that eventually creates pressure. So we have about 5 minutes left. But I do want to tell you, I do appreciate you saying that though, for sure.
Yeah. I just don't know what to do. I don't know.
Release the need to be successful.
How? It's
By
just,
enjoying the process.
but at the same time, it's just like you're talking about that I've got so much potential. I've just got
You do.
all of this,
To dominate the process.
but it's potential to be good.
It's the potential to dominate the process, being good at the process. If you're only thinking about the outcome and what the outcome can provide for you, you're going to live by that. You're also going to fail by that if you live by it. At the same time, if you're consumed by the process, the outcome becomes irrelevant in your mind. The craziest part about all of this is that the process admits the outcome, so the outcome is going to come as a byproduct of how you handle the process. The outcome is going to come as a byproduct of how you handle the process. The outcome is going to come as a byproduct of how you handle the process. The outcome is going to come as a byproduct of how you handle the process, which means you should be consumed by the process, not the outcome. Flow state, the zone, all of these things come as a byproduct of being in the process, being in the present moment.
What if it just doesn't work?
What if it does? And if it doesn't work,
I don't know.
if it doesn't work,
Then I'm not gonna be good enough.
you control that.
But it's the truth.
The truth is, you control it. Of course, it's it's option if we're speaking realistic for sure, but you control that though. You control it. Process. Got it?
Yeah.
Come on. Matthew, quick.